It's showtime, folks.
Absolute ass. Absolute ass. Hawks lose 2-1 to the Tampa Bay Lightning in a shootout. Yeah, I mean, all things considered, like the fact that the Hawks just got a point in this game, I think I see it as an absolute win. Because, like, let's be honest, the Hawks did not deserve a point in this game. They really did not. The Tampa Bay Lightning, the Bolts just absolutely dominated the Hawks in this match. The only reason to really get a point in this game is thanks to Arvid Soderblom. Big game for him, which, you know, there have not been many times this year been able to say that, but this is definitely one of Soderblom's, best games of the year. Soto's locked in tonight, 29 saves and 30 shots, and really stole us a point in this game. Gave us a chance to get two. Thought he deserved two in this game. Bit rough in the shootout, right? Soto hasn't typically been very good in the shootout. You look at his stats in the shootout; they're not that great. So definitely we're missing Knight there. Obviously, he's on the other hand, Knight's always been very good in the shootout. We saw it, last night in Carolina how good Knight's been in the shootout. But definitely missing him there. But otherwise, I thought Soto had a big game. Right? I'm not going to blame him for this one because really he's the only reason that we even get a point in this game. So yeah. I mean, all things considered, I'm just happy we got a point. I think for the Blackhawks, you play, back-to-back nights, the Carolina Hurricanes, Tampa Bay Lightning, which are two of the top teams in the East, both first place in their respective divisions, right? And to be able to leave that with 3 points out of a possible 4, I think you take that all day. I think you take that all night as well. Like, I think that's an absolute win. You can feel pretty good about that. And this team, as we speak, is only 3 points out of a playoff spot. So I think that's something you can feel pretty good about as we near the home stretch here. Before the Olympic break hits. So still got a few games left here over the next couple of weeks, and then we'll have a bit of a break there. So you want to end it strong. You want to end it strong and get as close to a playoff spot as you can before the Olympic break. And right there, right now, right in the mix. So that's what you want to see. But yeah, hang this matchup: Soderblom and net for the Blackhawks, Andrei Vasilevskiy and net for the Lightning. So truly a matchup of Dave versus Goliath when it comes to the goalkeepers. Obviously, Vasilevskiy, one of the best goaltenders in the game. Has been his entire career since it started way back in 2015. The year that the Bullets came up short to us in the Stanley Cup final. I remember Ben Bishop started off that series. He was our starter that year, but had to come out of that series due to cramps, and that's when Vasi had to step in for them in that series, and took the L there. But he's taking it personally, man, because you look at his stats career-wise versus the Hawks, and they're very good. So I think he's never forgotten that Stanley Cup final loss because every time Vasi plays the Hawks, he always stands on his head. So yeah, Hawks in the black jerseys today on a Friday night at home at the UC. So I love to see it. Those jerseys definitely look very slick, and still waiting for mine to show up there. We're in January here, and still waiting on the arrival. So we'll see when that happens. But yeah, anyway, we get into this matchup first period right away. Definitely some energy in this game right away. Nick Foligno gets in a fight there. Absolutely manhandles Finley in the fight. I think it was his first career tilt, and you could tell Foligno just absolutely manhandled him, and definitely was showing Alvar Moore what it takes to be a fighter in the NHL. So good to see from Foligno. Good to see him get the Hawks a bit of energy there early on in the game. Hawks get a power play as a result of that. Tampa kills it off, which we'd see plenty of that in this game. Hawks power play was absolutely not locked in this game, which I've actually checked the stats. Like Hawks power play in 2026 in general, since the drop of the calendar year, has not been good. I think they've gone like the last 15 or so without a goal. So Hawks power play's been struggling a lot of late. Struggled yesterday too, the game I went to, and struggled in this one as well. Yeah, Tampa gets a power play. After that, the Hawks get the kill. So PK has still been good. PK is still showing up strong. Thanks to Ilya Mikheyev and co. I think the penalty kill has been good, and they get Nazar back as well. I think it's only going to help that PK even more. He's been so good, shorthanded this year. So yeah, Hawks. I mean, it definitely has been a tale of there's two stories there in the special teams where it's the power play has been struggling, but the penalty kill has been fantastic. So, but we want to find a bit more consistency there. Get both locked in like they were early in the season. Because early in the year, both the Hawks, penalty kill and power play were cooking. Right now, PK has been good. The power play has been struggling. So see if they can figure that out. I think it's something that will be important. If the Hawks really want to go on a run here then the season and kind of assert themselves in the playoff mix there. I think the power play has got to get back rolling here. Which you think with Bedard coming back, you think that would help that out, but so far it is not yet. So we're still waiting on that. First period, you can definitely tell the Hawks are on a back-to-back. You could definitely tell they're on a back-to-back because Tampa's just absolutely controlling the pace. They're controlling possession, dominating puck possession, dominating shots, dominating chances. Hawks did not have much go in this period whatsoever. Again, you could tell they're on a back-to-back. It's a pretty quick turnaround, right? Less than 24-hour turnaround to get back home in Chicago from Raleigh. This cold-ass Chicago, man. It's apparently the coldest city in the world right now. That's how cold it is here. I just about got back in time for this game. I was at Raleigh yesterday, for those who don't know, and that was absolute cinema game. This one was a little less cinematic. This one was a little less cinematic. Definitely one of those, bump and grind and, defensive efforts there. Where there's not really a lot going in this game, but just kind of one of those games. But the Hawks kind of had to sit on their heels and kind of survive. And that was kind of what the Hawks, that was the theme for the Hawks in this game. It's just survive. Because the Bullets, on the other hand, are not on a back-to-back. You definitely tell they have the energy in this game. And they've been so good on the road as well. I think they got a 15-game point streak running on the road right now. 13-0-2, something like that, the last 15 road games, and been the hottest team in the NHL the turn of the calendar year in 26, even higher than the Colorado Avalanche. So definitely a tough matchup there for the Blackhawks. Probably, if there's a worse situation at back-to-back, I think it's playing the road Lightning on a back-to-back. It doesn't get harder than that. And I think all things considered, I think they did a good job in this game. Yeah, they were outshot, outpossessed, outplayed, but they stole a point, which I feel pretty good about. But yeah, getting back to the game itself there, Tampa gets another power play. Hawks get the kill once again. PK, once again was fantastic for the Hawks. And pretty soon after that kill, you could tell that kill gave the Hawks some confidence, gave them some momentum in this game. The second half of the first period was a little better. And Hawks actually get the first goal of this game somehow. I mean, you would not have thought the way this first period was trending, the Hawks would get the first goal in this game, but they do. Courtesy of Green FN. Ryan Green gets on the board. Hawks had a nice little break in there via Alvar Morin and Nick Lardis. Those two have been playing really well together, right? Alvar Morin just about waits for Nick Lardis to get on side there. Tampa does challenge us for offsides, but the refs looked in and they deemed it was good. They was on side just about. Smart from Alvar Morin there to wait to possess the puck until Lardis tagged up at the blue line and was able to find Ryan Green coming in there. And then Ryan Green, a rare finish from him, right? He's had a lot of chances this year and has had a hard time finishing, but it started to turn around of late, though, I will say. Like he has 3 goals last 7 games, something like that. So the puck started to go in the net for Ryan Green, which if you play the game the right way, if you get enough chances, enough looks, eventually they're going to start going in, right? I think you're seeing that for Green. So that's good to see for him, right? Blashill has definitely put a lot of trust, a lot of confidence in him, right? The fact that he's played most of the year in the first line at Bedard. And it's starting to pay off for him. It's starting to pay off, right? I think his game's been coming on a lot stronger of late, which is good to see. Good to see for him, for sure. Yeah, as I said, Tampa challenges for offsides. They do not get it. As a result, that gives the Blackhawks a power play. Tampa does kill it off, shockingly. Yeah, I mean, Hawks leave the first period up 1-0, but in a sense, it almost doesn't seem good enough because they had 3 power plays in the first period and couldn't convert any of them. I thought especially that power play after you get that initial goal, it's like if you could find something there and make it a 2-goal lead, I think you feel pretty good going into the second period, but unfortunately, it was another brutal power play. None of them really got much of anything going. I mean, Tampa PK, to be fair, is one of the best in the league, and you could definitely see in this game, right? They kind of made quick work of the Blackhawks power plays, special teams, and weren't able to get much going. So, yeah, that was about it from the first period. Second period begins. Tampa gets a power play early on. Hawks get the kill. So, Pucks PK showing out, not surprisingly. Yeah, in the second period, it was just completely dominated by Tampa. I mean, it took the Hawks 15 minutes just to get shot in this period. That's how much Tampa were cooking the Hawks in this period. It was all of them. It was all of them. And I'm hoping, okay, if you're the Hawks, can you just somehow find a way to escape this period without letting up a goal? Can you get into the third period with the lead still? But it kind of felt like the way that Tampa was playing. It was a matter of when they're going to even up this game, not if. And sure enough, late in the period, about a minute left, Nikita Kucherov, who else but Nikita Kucherov gets on the board late. Brandon Hagel, Blackhawks legend, Brandon Hagel, yes, that Brandon Hagel, the bagel man himself, finds Kucherov net front, and he goes backhand past Soda there to tie up this game for the Bolts and to make it a 1-1 game. Which, I mean, look at the shots. They're 21-6 in favor of Tampa at this point. So you're happy that's it's a tie game at this point because, really, statistically, it should not be. If you look at the deserve to win meter, way in favor of the Lightning at this point, right? The Hawks are lucky to tie game. Yeah, Hawks go in the third period. It's a 1-1 game. I think, if it could have just lasted another minute there and, go in the next period and up 1-0, you feel better about it. But, the fact you go in the third period, tie game. Yeah, the shots, chances, every stat metric favors the Lightning, but is towards Southern remission. Who cares? Scoreboard's the only stat that matters. It's tie game. Hawks have a chance to steal this game, courtesy of Soda. Will they take advantage? We shall see. Third period underway. Tampa gets a power play. Hawks get the kill once again. So PK was fantastic. Power play was bad. Power play was 0 for 4 in this game. The PK was perfect, though. So, again, tale of two halves of the special teams there as well. Kind of a quieter third period. Right is better. I think this was definitely the Hawks, one of their better periods. Like they had. It was the one period where the shot attempts were kind of even. For most of the game, the shot attempts well favored the Lightning. I think at one point it was 40-11 in favor of the Bolts, but third period was pretty even both ways. Hawks definitely found something a little bit there late, and it was a more evenly played period, and you're able to escape the period, tie. and just get a point in this game, which you feel pretty good about, right? I think Hawks are definitely playing just to get a point at that point, right? And they were able to do that. So I feel pretty good about that, right? Because, like, again, Hawks did not deserve a point in this game, but they get the 50 there, and we'll see if they can find a way to make it 2. Right? Yeah, well, like I said, game heads into overtime. I think it already feels like a win for the Blackhawks. You get a point when you probably shouldn't have, right? When you're outshot 30-16, Tampa has more than double the amount of chances and all that. Like, just to get a point is a win. If you find a way to make it 2, you feel even better about it. But I think just the way this game was trending, I mean, I had a hard time seeing the Hawks come away with this one. Like, you kind of had a feeling that this game was going to end in favor of the Bolts, right? Especially all the talent they have, the Kucherovs, the Hagels, all the Gensels, right? I mean, it's like there's a lot of firepower on that side where it's like, okay, 3-on-3 shootout. They probably have a better chance to come away with this one. And yeah, overtime gets underway. Hawks actually had a pretty decent overtime. They had a fair bit of chances there. The man who really should have sealed this game for the Hawks was Andre Burakovsky. Ilya Mikheyev and him have a nice 2-on-1 there. Mikheyev gets a chance. Isn't quite able to put it past Vasi. The rebound is right there for Burakovsky. He has a wide open net to put the puck in, but he overskates this. Now to get his stick on. He has another chance, though. The Tampa defender comes in, though, and breaks it up. But Burakovsky, wide open net, can't finish the game. And I mentioned this so many times in these videos, man, but just like, the first line, I think it needs a shake-up, right? I think I'm sick of seeing this Green, Bedard, Burakovsky first line. Green, to be fair, has been playing a lot better lately, so if you want to keep him up there, fair. But Burakovsky, man, like, he's just been absolute drywall lately. Like, his game has fallen off. The way he started this year, I think he's probably due for regression at some point. It has definitely come since the turn of the calendar year in 2026. Like, he's just not looked like the same player. And I think we need to demote him there. I think we need somebody else up there in the first line, Bedard. I think, I would put Bertuzzi up there. I mentioned that yesterday. I put Bertuzzi up there. I think he and Bedard have had great chemistry all year. They've had a good connection. I think a Green, Bedard, Bertuzzi first line, I think that would, I'd be all for that. Or how about, I don't know, Lardis and Moore have been playing so well together that their chemistry connection's been so good. How about, instead of having the third line, let's send up both of them up there. Let's have a Lardis, Bedard, Moore line. Why not? Let's have some fun here. It's too much fun. No fun allowed. No fun allowed. But yeah, that was my main point for overtime, man. Is like Burakovsky should have sealed the game there, but unfortunately is not. And this game heads to a shootout for the second consecutive night. The Blackhawks head to a shootout. And yeah, Bedard does not come up quite this time in the shootout, but Frank the Tank does. A nice goal from Frank there, and Louis Crevier as well. Really nice forehand backhand there from Crevier. And then, unfortunately, Kucherov does answer for the Bolts, and then he shushes the Hawks crowd after he's getting booed pretty massively there, which you think you learn by now if you're a home fan. Do not boo the opposing player in a shootout, because every single time you're going to bite that. It's going to come back to bite you, and it did. Yeah, and then after the Tampa gets a chance there in the fifth to seal the game, and Dominic James is coming up for them, and I'm thinking, oh, no. That's a Blackhawks draft pick. That's basically a former Hawk. He never suited up for the Blackhawks. Because he never signed the LC. James never signed the NHL contract with the Blackhawks. Decided to sign with Tampa instead. But I'm thinking, yeah, I mean, you kind of already know the way this is going to go, right? You know the way this is going to go. And yeah, the former Blackhawks draft pick, James, who decided to be a traitor, decided to be Judas, not sign with the Hawks and go to Tampa instead. He seals the game for the Bolts and gives them the win. So, yeah, hate to see it end that way, right? In kind of an anticlimactic fashion. Great regulation overtime for Soda. Not a very good shootout, I will say. Not a great shootout for him. Left a lot of space there in both, I think, the Cooch and Dominic James goals as well. Like, there's so much space there left, so much net to shoot at. Came way too far out of his crease, and yeah, I think not the best shootout for him. Which, to be fair, his breakaways and shootouts have not been his specialty. I think we saw that, and I definitely wish Knight was in net for that shootout. But again, it is what it is. I'm not going to blame Soda, because he was good for 60 minutes. If it wasn't for the way he played in regulation, this game would have gone to shootout anyway. So we'll take that. But yeah, 2-1 win for Tampa. But again, we'll take it. Hawks get a point in this game. They really shouldn't have. They improved to 21-22 at 8 on the year, 50 points, 3 points out of a wild card spot, 31 games left. So, no, I think all things considered, big picture-wise, Hawks get 3 points out possible 4 versus the Canes and the Bolts in a back-to-back. You feel pretty good about that. You feel pretty damn good about that. And, yeah, this team's pretty much fully healthy now as well. So, yeah, should be able to end this and the stretch here strong before the Olympics. And yeah, we'll have a day off tomorrow. Big day for me tomorrow. I'm obviously, if you don't know, my other interest besides hockey is motorsports, and 24 Hours Daytona's tomorrow. So I will be watching that tomorrow. Looking forward to that. And then, yeah, Hawks' next game is Sunday. Hawks play Florida Sunday. I'm at home at the UC, so they get to play the defending champs, so which they recently got back Matthew to Chuck. No Barkov still. He's out for the year, but yeah, they got to Chuck back recently. So, yeah, that'll be a test for the Blackhawks. Day off tomorrow. Much-needed day off. And, yeah, Sunday at home, United Center. They get to play the defending champs, two-time defending champs. So that'll be a test for this team, right? I mean, record-wise, I think Florida's record's not as good as it should be, but I think a big part of that is they play in the loaded East there. That's just it feels like every team there is just loaded and stacked. And but yeah, it should be a good test for the Hawks. Yeah, they're 26-20-3, so not much better than us. We're 21-22-8. So, but yeah, the Panthers definitely a team that is better than the record shows, right? Definitely, as long they're a team too, where it's like it doesn't really matter what their regular season record is, as long as they get to the playoffs, they have as good a chance as any. So, especially with their experience, that team is better built for the playoffs anyway. So, but yeah, that'll be the next one on Sunday. We will be there for that. We will be back on Sunday for that. But yeah, that's all I got for this one. Yeah, not much else to say. Yeah, if you all like this content, feel free to subscribe. I believe we're at 760 subs time of recording, so really appreciate that a lot. And yeah, like this video around, share it around friends, family if you enjoy this content. All right, that's all I got for this one. Justin Lynch, Bjork Memes out, and we'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye. Boop.